What's going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another Bucky O'Hare review, and today we're taking a look at their fifth one in their series, the Deadeye duck. And just for reference, I'm assuming it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So didn't get these two. We're not going to be taking a look at them. But yeah, Deadeye duck is here, and then probably next, I assume, is going to be the Storm-Toed Trooper. If you want to read the bio, go ahead and pause it now. Otherwise, let's get on to the figure here. I've already kind of opened this up because I was looking at the accessories, and once again, you get that real nice, easy to remove backing here so you don't destroy anything. So let's free the figure here. Just kind of pull him by his feet out of here, and yep, looks like it's just as solid as all the ones that came before it on initial inspection here, but we'll see what we have to do to kind of free up some joints, because there's definitely some stiff joints on here from not having ever moved before. So let's take a look at the accessories first. I want to point out, for a duck that has 4 hands here, I kind of feel like the hands are maybe a little bit lacking. Now, you do kind of have, you got 3 trigger finger hands here, and then one that is kind of giving the devil horns here, I suppose. And then you get 4 extra hands, and I do feel like 4 is maybe a little too little. So you got a punching hand and only 1, and at bare minimum I feel like you should have had 4 punching hands here, personally. You got this hand, which looks like it's kind of writing something with maybe chalk or something. Yeah, and so these are 2 left hands for this, and then for the right hand you've got an open hand like this, which is fine, and you got a thumbs up hand. And I'm not saying, or I guess it could be a thumbs down hand, whichever way you want to put it, but you know, regardless, it's a hand for the right side. So you got 2 extras for the right and 2 extras for the left. And I just feel like there should have been 4 punching hands at least, and I definitely think there should have been 1 more of these gun holding hands, as opposed to whatever this is, because he comes with 4 guns. And so you get 2 of this type of gun, which is not the ones that we've seen on Bucky. That is actually this gun, which you get 1 of, and then you get this one right here. So as you would expect, he can hold all 4 guns just fine, including the devil horns hand. It's a little bit odd with the, I guess he's very elegantly holding the gun there with the pinky extended. I'm not sure. Every single one of these works great, though, that the trigger finger is through the trigger guard on there. It looks fantastic, but I still would have liked to have seen this one have a regular trigger finger fist, and I would have just liked to have seen 4 fists for kind of like a more neutral overall look. He has the belt here, you can see, so there's plenty of places that if you want, you can hang the guns off of, whichever way pleases you. I don't know what he necessarily looked like in the comics to have guns hanging off him, but if you want to do it, you certainly can do it with this guy. And it is awesome. No complaints there. The hat here does not come off, neither do the headphones. They kind of look like they do. Obviously they're sculpted as a separate piece and kind of glued into place, but nothing comes off there. For replacement faces, unlike Jenny and Bucky, you don't get a whole new face. You end up just getting a beak. And that may be one of the scariest things ever. So you got this beak here, which is kind of like the typical expression. You've got a, you know, is it a smile? Just a bunch of nothing? Let's see. Because when I was looking at this guy, I was like, well, the fact that his eyebrows and stuff doesn't change kind of made me wonder how much changing the beaks actually would change things. And these, I will say, change very easily compared to the faces on Bucky. And then here's the final face, and I gotta say, like, it's cool to change the beaks, but since the expression of the eyes never change, I just feel like the expressions aren't really ultimately all that varied. And before we go on, I just want to kind of point out that these 2 beaks here feel pretty similar. I mean, you got a bigger, you know, I guess this is kind of like a grin, maybe, like, because this is a lot smaller than this, whereas on this particular beak both sides are the same. But I just I just don't necessarily feel like these two beaks really offer any real difference in personality. So like usual, if you want to switch out a hand, all you got to do is grip them and pull real hard, and you can pull that hand right out of the joint there. Just be aware that it is difficult to get them in and out. Probably would be best to put a little bit of lubricant in the hole just to make sure that you can get that hand in a little easier. So there, we've gone ahead and put this other fist in, actually, because this one's kind of fighting me to go back in. And just to check, well, yep, you can swap out any arm's hand by pulling the hand out. Very difficult, like really difficult to get in there. I'm definitely going to put some like shock oil inside there just to make my life a little bit easier. And there we go, everything's just kind of held in. So we got a fist, a thumbs up, and two trigger fingers here. Now I will say the joints here, again, like I did with Jenny, I did work them a little bit before I filmed this review just so it's easier to mess around with them, but they are pretty stiff, and out of the package they did take a little bit of freeing up. You can see kind of where I guess the plastic kind of was bound up a little bit. Ultimately, no big deal. I will say the ball joints in the legs are a little weird because they don't really function like you would expect a ball joint to. Like, it's fairly free, but like, see how there's like the ridges sculpted into the ball there? So it ends up kind of almost working a little like a ratchet joint a little. Like, you get so far and then you have to kind of pop it over the ridge to get the next piece. It's a little bit strange, but I mean, it's not that it doesn't work, it's just different than I'm used to, right? So on the articulation, the head is on a double ball joint. You can see there's one in the head and one in the neck, so plenty of movement out of that head. Just fantastic there. The shoulder here is on a swivel with the swivel at the shoulder. Again, the swivel for the elbow, and the forearm can swivel there, and then the wrist swivel for how the hands plug in. Obviously, that is the same for the lower hands, except the lower hands are on this post in here, and given how it fits in there, you kind of get a little, like, it's not super snug, so you get a little bit of movement back and forth out of the hand in there to get a little bit more dynamic of a pose. I already showed you the thighs there coming down to the knee. Just make sure you know where your swivel is. Pretty decent range of motion there, and I think the sculpt looks pretty solid with the knee pad kind of hiding the joint. That works. And then the foot is just a huge ball joint, so you can do whatever you really imagine yourself wanting to do. It's very nice. Now, you're saying, does he have waist articulation? And I skipped this purposely because yes, he has waist articulation. Obviously, the belt gets a little bit in the way, so you're not going to get anything too extreme out of it, but you can see it's there. And then he actually has like an ab ball joint here that moves around, so you actually have, you know, an upper body rotation too, so really nice in terms of articulation. And so here we go, just a little quick shot of Bucky, Jenny, and Deadeye Duck, and I gotta say, the set is just shaping up awesome. I am so glad that I've bought into these figures. I really like them. So I think if you have any kind of interest in checking them out, hopefully you'll enjoy them as much as me. I really think that they're really well done labors of love by Boss Fight Studios. And yeah, I look forward to seeing their next releases. I think I'll be getting 2 of those Storm Toads if they're next, and you know, hopefully the line keeps going. Because I am definitely having a lot of fun with them. And I'll say even my wife, she walked down and said, you know, Jenny, she's pretty cool looking. And I was like, great, that's all the motivation I need to get some more. So yeah, this is T2RX6. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'll see you next time.